and welcome to the Comicspiracy episode 604 for the week of January 9th, 2024. Happy New Year, everyone. My name is Ryan Higgins, who's here with me this week.
Yay, Brock Sager.
Hey.
And Kevin.
Hello, Kevin. Most of
pending
Kevin.
Additional guests.
Sure. Yeah. Who knows who's going to come on? I even know. Man, what a start. So we're going to record on Christmas and New Year's. So we took a couple weeks off. I completely thought we were supposed to record yesterday. Apparently, mixed updates with Ryan over at Geekbox, so we ended up doing that instead. So this will go up a day later than anticipated. But then we should be back Monday with another episode to get us back on our normal schedule. So yeah, whatever. Nothing matters.
It doesn't matter. It's
no
600 and some of these. You'd think we'd learn.
If we were ever going to have a real schedule, we would have,
we would be in studio, in comfy chairs.
Once you start going off the rails, it just starts going off the rails a little bit worse every week. So it's fine. Nobody cares. We're here to talk about 2023 and Aquaman. And those are kind of one in the same conversation, I think. So, Kevin, I know I did not know had not seen Aquaman yet.
Let me say this because I'm assuming we're going to talk about our favorite things of 23 at some point.
Yes. There was a yeah. We're going to move around.
I'm just going to say this, and then you move on.
Yep.
All of us were Homer Simpson in that donut chair in hell with Marvel, Star Wars, DC. Okay.
Yeah.
I stood up from the chair last year and walked out of the room.
Yep.
And I will tell you, you will be shocked at how little you miss it when you're gone. You will be shocked at how there's no.
So you did not binge Echo, is what you're telling me, which came on a couple hours ago, right? All 5 episodes.
My previous comment.
I mean, I stopped watching the DC shows, the CW shows, and just never went back.
Well, this is how I wanted to start this conversation because there was good things about 2023, but if we were talking the biggest news of 2023, it is this. It is the basic complete collapse of the superhero media across all forms. Video games have all been postponed to 2024 before they really suck. But for everything else, it's most of the bad ones will come out next year. I think Spider-Man came out this year or 2023.
Suicide Squad.
It looks like total trash. It looks like trash, dude. It looks awful.
I don't care.
It just looks terrible.
I don't care.
But this was going to be my, the conversation about Aquaman. It's like, we're at the point where I liked it, and I liked the shows, and I liked the stuff I've watched. But when you're 800 episodes into a TV show, you're like, okay, well, we're just sort of, just doing the thing, and it's fine and it's fun, but it isn't new. It isn't something unique or refreshing or different. It's just, 60 years of Aquaman comics. It's tough to do something incredible. All right. We've had so many movies and shows compressed in such a short amount of time. What movie is going to do something, or what show is going to do something that really breaks the mold now? Right. I mean, the mold has been crafted and forged and is set. So Aquaman didn't do anything to be different. Now that's okay, right? Like, I thought it was a fun movie, but it is just another adventure of Aquaman, which is unfortunately in 2023 not a $1 billion movie anymore.
Really, you don't. Huh,
right.
Who was the wise man who predicted that on the last? Yeah, no, 23.
I mean, I think there was something special. You'd had your Superman and Batman in the 70s and 80s, and you had Spider-Man 2000, and you had these kind of points where it was like, this is special and unique, and it drew a huge audience. But when it was, that build up from the Marvel universe, the started attempt from DC, like, it's good until the wheels start to go off, and then it all collapses, right? That the mix my metaphors here, but that whole kind of house of cards just starts collapsing, right? It doesn't matter. And it takes down good movies too, right? I mean, Spider-Verse did well, but I don't think it did as well as it would have had it come out a couple of years ago. I don't think Guardians did well, but it didn't beat number 2, right? It made less money despite being, I think, a significantly better movie. And it's kind of the one bright spot, I think, in the movies this year, but even that struggled to hit anywhere near the highs of previous installments from Marvel. So I think it's tough to put Aquaman. There's no point for an Aquaman podcast. It's just like, yep, okay, that was fun. It was worth watching. There was some cool stuff. There's some cool fights. There was some cool scenes. There's my Aquaman review, right? Like, I don't have, like, there's nothing else. What else can I say, right? There's nothing else to really say.
My son liked it. Like, he was entertained.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's the same thing. Like, my daughter was entertained at the Marvels. Like, I thought it was fine. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it didn't completely suck.
No.
Do anything that I was like, oh my god, like.
No, I think it's like a slight step down from number 1. And I like number 1 again. I like number 1 quite a bit, but we have now seen and done it all, and they're not getting better. They're getting the same, or in a lot of cases worse. So this is over now, right? It takes a reboot to the degree of James Gunn and Superman, and hopefully that pans out, and hopefully they have learned their lesson from Marvel. Hopefully Marvel's learned their lesson from Marvel, and now with I don't think, did we recorded when they fired what's his face Kang? Have we recorded since this happened?
We recorded.
Did we talk? I mean, we must have talked about this.
So
that was the last episode. Yeah. So right. So like they're completely. They have to some degree start over, even if not exactly plot wise. At least they're going to have to really rethink what they're doing going forward. Echo came out today to reviews basically being, yep, this sure is a show that exists. This sure is 5 hours of content. And I'm sure it's fine. And I'll get to it. And Loki, people seem to like, but it was just.
There's no drive to go see these things.
Yeah, right. So this is the big news story of 2023. This is most of the conversation I figured we'd have about Aquaman. It has nothing to do with Aquaman. It's the entire.
Well, it's like, what are you looking forward to that's coming out this year?
Comic like movie or TV stuff.
Comic, movie, or TV stuff.
So 2024 is
our
Sony shit?
Date to Craven. So
right,
I know that's your number 1, and mine's
Joker, Deadpool, finale of Superman and Lois. I don't know what Marvel shows are coming out past Echo. I thought there was something that was supposed to be out this year.
Madam Web is coming out. Ooh.
Well, yeah, all the Sony movies, right? I said that. Yeah, it's like nothing. I mean,
Venom 3 apparently is supposed to be out.
Yeah. It's all, like I said, all the Sony movies. It's
the Spider-Verse stuff.
There's no Spider-Verse stuff this year. No.
Yeah, it is. It's the second part.
No. That's probably 2030 at this rate. That movie's not coming out anytime soon. It's not coming out this year. Absolutely not. No, they've already said it's not coming out this year. Yeah, no, Spider-Verse Part 2. They haven't even started it yet. No, that's going to be years from now. So yeah, there's very, very little coming out this year. Again, there's probably more than there should be, right? We're getting this. I mean, there's no way Sony's done after this. We'll get Venom, Madam Web, and Kraven, and that will be the end. Like, just they can't possibly put out anything else after this. They're going to take such a bath on all three of those that there's just no possible way that they'll continue to line past that. So yeah, Superman and Lois. That's like the only thing I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to Deadpool 3. And then I'm looking forward to Joker because,
Yeah, Deadpool 3, I'm really worried about because I think it's not going to be what made Deadpool 1 popular. Deadpool 2, I liked, but started to get a little too much. I think Deadpool 3 is going to lean way more into the wacky multiverse stuff that Marvel's been doing with everything. And I mean, I'm sure it'll be fun, but I'm a little, I don't know.
It's the only MCU movie this year.
It is. And barely, I mean, I do not consider Deadpool 3 an MCU movie. It is not. That is a Fox movie. It's not made by Marvel. Marvel has nothing to do with Deadpool 3. I mean, yes, they've backed it in the, but none of the production, none of that stuff was done by Disney. This is all still the old guard.
I mean, it's still got that R rating, so
yeah.
At least we're getting 2 R-rated. I mean, Joker's R-rated, so I'm on board for R-rated comic book movies this year. Give it to me.
But that's I think that is the big story, right? Is that, like I said, this is really falling apart, and it's going to get worse next year. It's going to get way worse. So, or this year, 2024. Yeah. But, when it comes to Aquaman, right? I mean, Kevin, I think you had a pool that it was going to break $1 billion, right? Didn't you say? What even? I don't know. Let's see what the current box office total is. No, I did not think for 1 second it was going to do anything near what the first one did. Yeah. It's at 337 worldwide, right? And so here's a crazy thing, right? That's good. $337 million is a good box office. Just not when your movie costs $200 million and you have $100 million in promotion on it, right? That's the problem. I remember if it was a Geekbox or I was on the Hero, I said it. Godzilla -1 was made for. I don't know that the official number actually got
70.
released, but the direct 70.
Yeah, that's what
was 70,000.
No, to make.
No. He said it cost less than $15 million to make.
Okay.
The director said it cost less than $15 million to make.
I saw 70 million, but okay.
I mean, this was an article. This article's up there reading.
I got a bad memory, so who knows?
Hello, Toby. Hello, Lane. Thank you for joining us.
We have people joining us. 15 million. That's what it said it was. Was 15.
What I read, the budget was 15 million, and the director came out and said, "I wish I had 15 million."
Well, it's probably 15 million, including advertising. So he got way like a quarter of that, or half of that.
Yeah. So whatever it is, that movie didn't cost $300 million, right?
And
it looks.
Box office was 90.6 million.
It looks so much better than everything Marvel put out in the last couple of years. It is crazy. So, and Aquaman looks, I thought, mostly fine. It did feel the effects at points, they maybe kind of ran out of budget towards the end. There was a couple shots that looked a little like you're like, yeah, that's just a cartoon character running up that cliff. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're talking like the big bugs and all that shit.
No, not that. There was one scene in particular where all the Aquaman and Ocean Master and Samara, they were going up the side of like a bridge.
Yeah. I remember
and that was kind of like, doesn't look too good. But the DC movies have generally had pretty, Warner Brothers does not fuck around with the special effects in their movies. Like Shazam 2, Dragon. They're like, oh, we just took this from the Game of Thrones production, data banks. Like this, like it looked great.
That made it wood.
Right? What's that?
We took it and made it wood.
So yeah, there was like, I think DC has generally done okay, but even with Aquaman, I thought, okay, maybe you guys were like, let's, if we're gonna also, what was like the reshoot? I don't even know how many reshoot budgets there were. Apparently, Batman was in this movie at one point. I don't know where, I don't know when. Like, I don't even know what they did or cut out, or I can't tell the Batman was ever supposed to have been a major part in this movie. I don't know what his role would have been. I don't know how much they reshot. It's so, yeah, like if that's your, yeah, you've got to do something different. If Superman Legacy comes out and it's $350 million with $150 million production, 6 weeks of reshoots, it's over, right? Like, you've got to figure this out. You have to do this some other way. If you want to keep making these movies and be successful. Really, all that stuff doesn't really matter. The movie's good or bad. It doesn't matter what the budget is. But there is I would like to see more. And you don't get more unless they're profitable. And usually you don't get more unless they're profitable and successful. And so they need, I feel like there needs to be some major course correction in how they make these movies, because you can't be pulling in $337 million on a $300 million budget.
I know how they're going to fix it. You can go to the movies and watch the movie with paying the regular ticket price, but there'll be ads. You can pay more to not have ads.
The different theater without ads. Yeah.
No. You're a different theater, but you have to pay more to not have ads.
Right. Pretty sure that would be the death of movie theaters overnight. So, yeah. Toby, Elaine, and obviously Brock, you guys can add your thoughts. My thought of, again, we're kind of talking about multiple subjects here, but I think it's one subject. I think it is the failure of the now death of the comic book movies and television, because I want to talk about TV in a minute here too. But Aquaman was, and the last door out, right? It's like, okay, we're just showing you out. Okay, done. That's it. It's now, now we can close the casket and move on. So,
the Snyderverse is dead.
Like, as far as a movie, I thought it was fun enough, but it's good. I say like a B plus. Like, yeah, it's an enjoyable. It's another adventure of Aquaman, which again, that's cool. That's cool when it's a $3.99 comic. That's not cool when it's a $300 million movie. Right? It just doesn't work. That is the problem on the bigger scale. So, I have nothing to say about the plot or the characters or the acting. I enjoyed it. The end. Okay, that's the end of my part of this podcast.
Well, but you're not going to go and buy the 4K right when it drops. It's like,
I never do. No, I always wait. wait.
No, there's movies where you're like, I'm buying that. Right. If something is impactful, you'll buy it day one.
Very rarely. I always wait till some for sale. Yeah, I rarely buy Blu-rays I almost never buy anything day one. I mean, I have, but it's pretty rare. I usually wait till it gets cheap. Still watching Morbius on 4K. It was down to like $17 the other day. Come on, baby, you can get lower. Give me like $5.99. $5.99. I know it's coming. I'm ready for it.
At this rate, you're better off just going over to Rasputin and seeing if they have a copy of this.
Morbius and Eternals. I got a buy price. Come on, guys. You can do it.
If you find Eternals,
you're going to buy Eternals?
I bought Fantastic Four 1 and 2 on a 2-pack for $5. Yes, I will buy Eternals for $5-6. Yes.
Hey, if you get Eternals in Blu-ray or whatever at that cheap price, buy 2.
This is just purely a collector's mentality. There's not going to be a day in your life when you go, what do I feel like watching right now? Scanning your shelf. You know what sounds good? Eternals.
No, I know. I rip it all and throw it on my book server, and there it lives. Yeah.
What you are guaranteeing when you're buying it is you're guaranteeing that at any moment you can go, I want to binge watch all of these movies that I watched, and the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe I can binge watch because it's available to me. Oh, wait. Disney Plus doesn't have one on available.
Yeah. It is less about it's less about watching the movie now and more about having access to it in the future if I want to. So, because I have no faith in streaming being a thing as we know it in 5 years.
I would be devastated if I was never able to watch that again. I better get on it too. You better get me a copy too.
There's a reason I won't pay $19.99 for it, or $14.99, or $11.99, $9.99. I could be persuaded if I got a bunch of other stuff. But really, I've seen those $5.99 deals. Come on, Best Buy's done it. Amazon's done it. Come on, one more Black Friday, we can hit those prices. I know.
So what you're saying is you're going to put it on Plex, and then you're going to force us to listen and watch it in the store.
No.
Listen to it.
You don't listen to it. I just hit shuffle. Yeah, that's fine. It may show up at some point. So,
hey, I had to veto Batman and Robin the other day when I walked in.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, when they finally follow up the Harry Styles and Pip Patrol, then Eternals will be on sale because then everybody will want to go back and see it. So that'll be your moment.
It is wild that DC has basically had just like this endless parade of post-credit scenes that don't get followed up, and now we have them at Marvel too, right? Yeah, that's incredible. Like, I didn't think it would happen. Marvel was pretty tight on this, but they're like, oh, we're just never going to acknowledge, like, you're never going to see these characters again. Black Knight talking to that sword, or we're just never going to acknowledge. It's like, no, just does not exist, does not happen. No, we're never going to mention this again. Sorry. So yeah, Toby, Lane, any thoughts on Aquaman, or more specifically, or sorry, more generally, the death of comic movies in 2023? But I will touch on shows here in a minute. All right, good talk. All right, excellent, fantastic. Glad you guys jumped. Toby, did you watch it yet? Yeah. You saw it?
Opening weekend, man.
Yeah, me too. What'd you think?
It was like the first. That's about it.
Yep. And there we go. Well, that's what I said, Kevin. It's like, I got nothing. Like, it's fine. The end. Move on to the next topic.
It's very much like, I actually think I may like the first one a bit better.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yep. This is like a half. This is like a half grade down, and
but
there
if
you go.
Really, really like the first one, it's more of that.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah. The problem is that is not. You missed the very beginning of this conversation, Toby. But it's okay because that is not enough to make $1 billion at the box office.
Especially not after COVID years and after 15 million superhero movies.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if it's just that. It's also the whole anti-Amber Heard group. So
that's like 9 people. Those aren't real people.
There's a lot of them.
Those aren't real people.
I wouldn't consider them real, but I mean, there's quite a few of them. I've known several people I know are boycotting it for that reason, and that's not a good thing.
But sure, but those people were not going to go anyway.
I don't think that's 300 million's worth of boycott.
No.
But still,
it's the same thing with the Marvels. We all,
but I think
have no problem with them, and we did not go see that movie. It has nothing to do with the people in the movie. It's just everyone is burnt out. The people that didn't see Aquaman because of Amber Heard is like 0.1%. It's not a factor. Don't even give those people air. They're lunatics. No, it is not. I'm telling you, it is not, Lane. They are lunatics.
Oh, I don't disagree. They're lunatics, but I think it's it is
a.
But I don't think it's. I'd say it's at least 5%, but
it is a microscopic. It is a microscopic.
That's also sort of the downfall of movies this year because we have too much involved with. Sadly, there's too much politics involved with movies now, where people are making assumptions and making up the decisions about movies based on their politics and not based on the movie itself.
Oh, of course, but they always have, right? I mean, but I think
before.
that is.
I don't say that any other year prior to COVID has a box office ever been so completely changed by the political landscape or a one person's like I don't know their influence.
Sure. I mean, there are always elements to this. It is definitely a lot more loud today, but I don't know that it's any more pronounced.
Well, I feel like it's hitting bigger things. Like, sure, prior to COVID, people, Michael Mann and Michael, what the documentary guy, like those, people, sure, they don't agree with their politics, whatever. But like, I feel like now it's more about politics of the actors that hurt people that are against, and it's affecting blockbusters now. I mean, just look at Mission Impossible. Look at all the regular standard movies are also being affected by stuff that would not ordinarily be affected at all.
Oh, I agree, right? But I mean, I think you have the people that hate all the actors. They also hate James Gunn, but that Guardians 3 did not do as well as they probably wanted, but it did very well. And again, it is burnout. And if we are not seeing these movies, no one is seeing these movies, and that is representative of kind of the mass audience. And so they came for Guardians because of the faith of the director and the quality of the first two. Now, maybe everyone went to see Captain Marvel and didn't like it, and a lot of people saw Miss Marvel and didn't like it, and so they didn't go see the new one. I think that is more to do with it than and people just burned out than
Sure.
Yes. The online targeted hate stuff is a real problem, because we've talked about this on the podcast many times. But I really think the amount of people boycotting Aquaman is
no. I also mean just like
non-existent.
In general, I feel like a lot of people are just not going to theaters these days for other reasons other than the usual. So we're just losing a huge portion of the audience straight off the top, no matter what kind of film. Like, we're not talking just comic films.
Yeah.
When a medium popcorn with a free upgrade because my mom has the AMC stubs or whatever, and a regular size slushie cost $18, I really don't go to the theaters very often.
Yeah, but you're not required to buy them.
I don't buy them.
Yeah.
But giving the experience to my kids to buy it, like, they buy them, right? But even then, it's like I've already spent, just with me and one child, half the time, almost $50-$60.
Yeah.
When before COVID, it was maybe $30, $40. So there's been a significant increase as well in the cost of going to the movies. So
yeah. Oh no, it's great. It's expensive. It's quality. It's COVID. There's a million reasons. So
we remember. Ryan, remember, we used to go wait in line to a first come, first serve theater at Winchester that held, like, how many people?
Oh, right? Man, and I miss those theaters.
Here. The minute they let us pick the seats, none of us ever stood in line again.
No. And once they started doing reclining and making this experience to say, oh, look at them, like, you're reducing the amount of people that can go at any given time. Right? It's like, oh, well, we can't fit as many people, but we can charge. And the thing is it's that fine balance of finding, like, I would love to go to a theater and just sit in first come, first serve and just watch something with a ton of people. Right? Again, but we don't live in those times anymore.
No. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Right? We live in I want to recline. Oh, I'm going to be a jackass and wear sandals to a fucking movie theater. Fuck off.
Sandals?
Sorry.
What's wrong with sandals?
People wear sandals to the theater.
I'm one of them. You could sit next to me next, bro.
Toby.
But
seriously,
am I missing something? I mean, do you have like really? I mean, are you worried about people's smelly feet?
I've had bad like people's feet stink, and it's like really.
That's just that's always. I mean, that's just the world.
If I don't have to wear shoes, I'm fucking on my All-Kai sandals, man. Like,
but it wasn't.
What's it called? Like when you're scared of like entrapment and close quarters. So it's like what's it called? When you're stuck in
claustrophobia.
Yeah, I think I have feet claustrophobia. Like when I have a shoe that's too tight, man. Fuck, I need to get that shit off, man. It has to get off. Yeah, don't like it. Sandals.
Well, it was not just the comic movies that died this year, because we basically also have, maybe a little less so, but the shows have not been doing great either. The CW ended on quite a whimper, although technically we still have one season of a half season of Superman and Lois, but that's sort of related. Titans ended to nothing, to no fanfare. Doom Patrol got super crazy delayed, and then they just dumped it. And it was good, but like it just sort of ended and nobody talks about it. The Marvel shows have, I have to assume, all underperformed. We don't know. There's no numbers, but again, no conversation, no talk about any of them. Nobody cares. Did you guys remember What If came out?
Yep.
Anyone watch it?
I watched the first episode.
Yep. How was? And now you're done.
I kind of like it.
Okay.
I've just been watching other stuff and waiting.
Right. All right. Yeah, I asked Kevin if he marathoned Echo today. He said no.
What, you can?
What?
It's only one episode, isn't it?
No, the whole show's out. The whole show's out today. Yeah, first week on a Tuesday night, they dump all 5 episodes.
Wait, since when does Disney do that?
That's the whole point. They dump this show just to get it out. And I mean, it's like they did this with What If, and now they're like, What If, one a day, Echo, all at once, just fucking get this shit out. We're done. Like,
really?
Just
yeah.
What If was one a day for what, like 8 days or something like that, like through Christmas. And then Echo was all today. Yeah, it's all out.
Is that something they're doing for the future, or they're just not happy with it?
No, they're just dumping stuff to get stuff done because they're freaking out.
I have to assume they just want to get it off the news cycle and just move on and just pretend they don't exist. I don't, because they do not do this, right? That's if they had any faith in the show, they wouldn't do this.
Well, because the real test is Echo on Disney Plus in 6 months, or does it get willowed?
Good question. It's apparently on Hulu too, Leanne. We were on Hulu, and it was like there was a thing on there for it. So I'm like cross pushing it on Hulu. So that's a thing.
They're folding those channels together.
Yeah. But I don't know that I've seen Disney Plus exclusive content on a Hulu yet. I know there's the beta for it, but I didn't think that any of that stuff had gone over yet. So maybe they're starting to merge them.
Well, it's that pendulum, right? Like we saw this with comic books. People in COVID came, and even before COVID, comic sales were they were rising, but they weren't doing a lot. But we jumped because everyone was at home, right? So interest was like, well, what can I do at home? Oh, I can read a comic. I can have a comic mailed to me. Like people started bringing more content into their houses, but the problem is everyone was like, oh, they're getting they want content here. Let's just give them everything and try and pump everything out and give them anything. And it was like all of this just blah content, and everyone was like, we don't want all this anymore. Now that we can go outside, I'm just going to go outside.
Yeah,
I'm going to go touch grass. It's like I was watching on social media, like they're trying to have, social media pushes for things like, oh, the Echo premiere and this and this and this. And I'm like, I don't care.
We also had the strike. So we had like a lack of entertainment for like 6 months.
Well, the strike happened, but even then, it's like the people were trying. Like, if you were catching up with anything, did you catch up with anything, or were you just like, no, I'm good. I don't need anything.
Yeah, that only affected stuff like now and coming out this year. Like that didn't affect anything that was coming out then, except for like the talk shows and stuff. The variety shows and stuff.
Yeah,
so
but it might have
that was live
some effect on things like like Echo, because it was pretty much done, but they kind of were in that weird. Do we release it now? Blah blah blah. That might have had some effect on some of the shows.
Yep. Well, and Daredevil, right? They completely scrapped Daredevil and started over. So, terrible year. And I don't think it can get worse this year because nothing's coming. Nothing's going to be out. Nothing's happening. Like,
well, no, Sony has to make their push for garbage,
but it's such a non-factor, right? I guess it is good to have this. There will be, of course, still significantly more comic-related content this year than in most other years, but it's nothing. So, it's hopefully a good reset. But will people come back? Will they care when Avengers 5 gets renamed? Will they care when Blade finally has their 2029 release date? Do people want Superman and Swamp Thing in 2025 and 2026? I don't know.
Well, we still have a couple other projects coming out. It's just not from the big two, so it's just not going to hit movies. So, it'll be
there's
from theaters, but we'll see like Criminal and Boys in the next season, and
yep. I mean, well, right. Boys has still been going. But I feel even like Gen V. Like, I don't know. I feel like
I haven't watched it yet.
A lot of the content I've just stopped.
A lot of normals really like that one.
Yeah, Gen V and Invincible Season 2, I feel like, I don't know if it's just overload, but I heard very little about either of those. We have not watched them yet. Customers haven't talked about them. I don't know.
A couple of normals were talking about it, and I was surprised.
Yeah.
Well, Invincible, I saw another spike of people wanting to come in and get the omnibuses.
Oh, we did sell some more of the trades, which is a good sign. But I know nothing like the talker on season 1. So I don't know if it just was a little bit too long between seasons, or if this is just like, okay, well, it's just more stuff. So, because my watching has not been comic stuff. It's been, we're watching Fargo, watch The Curse. I've been catching up with some Star Trek stuff. I've been watching, whatever, like other stuff.
I've been watching other movies. Like, I'm like, no, I haven't. I didn't watch this movie from like when my kids were little, and I had no time, so I'm going to watch this movie.
Yeah.
I'm more apt to go for a comedy or a drama now than I'm going to like a superhero movie, right?
Yeah, no.
Like, even Good Omens, I loved the first season. I'm still not done with season 2.
Yeah, loosely related, right? Because of because
like it's an expansion. It's fine. Like, but again, my desire to watch the whole thing, like sitting down, I'll get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. Even something like Sandman, I know they're back filming, right? But when you're talking multiple years between seasons, what's the numbers going to look like on season 2? I mean, I'm excited, but when's the best that comes out? Early 2025, right? It's like 3 years, 2.5 years between seasons. Oh, I know the strike affected that a lot, but that's rough. So,
well, like Stranger Things 5, how many people are really interested in it? Like,
oh, fuck you! It's going to be the best thing of all time.
Like, don't get me wrong, Toby. I love Stranger Things.
It's going to be the greatest thing of all time.
But
no need for this negativity on this podcast. This is where I draw the line. Is fucking you start talking about Stranger Things. Fuck you all. Fucking negative Nancy's fucking shit.
What, I get one episode of the season 2 when I went, no, I'm good.
Yeah, fuck you too, and you, Mom.
Terrible. So yeah, that is really the bad of 2023, right? I did have some. I wanted to, before we moved on to I just closed my page. Well, let me scroll briefly. Hey, here we go. I found it. I had some sales number stuff and a little bit of a sales chart. Maybe I'll see if you guys want to play a guessing game. Some numbers for the shop for 2023, and it's not great, right? But I've got some commentary here, so let me give you some numbers. Versus 2022, our sales were down 11.5%. Now that seems pretty bad. However, a couple factors I'll put here. I mean, 11% drop's not great, but we're still up 40% over 2019. And 2019 was sort of like things that cooled down post Rebirth, post Marvel's big jump back in like 2016, 2017 when it kind of rebranded. There was a big thing that happened 2018 and 2019. We started to see a real collapse of independent comic sales at the shop, to the point where I think if you even look up, I think Bleeding Cool posted it, right? We did I may just stop ordering independent stuff for the shelf entirely, like special order only, because there's just nobody's buying it anymore, right? And what happened was 2020 rocketed up like crazy, right? Because of all the, after COVID reopened, people were spending money, everything was flying off the shelf. But if you look at all those Scout, Vault, Boom, you look at a bunch of those companies, 2020, 2021, sales were through the roof. Speculation was out of control, right? Variant covers going like crazy. Summer 2022, that started to cool off.
Yeah.
Back issue prices started to cool off. Through 2023, that accelerated, especially on the independent side for us, and I believe the whole market, but I don't think we're too off the path of kind of greater trends here. But summer 2023, the other kind of shoe dropped. Variant covers crashed. So that speculation market between the independents and the variant covers evaporated. We had a couple whale customers of ours that left the store. I did some rough calculation. About 30-35% of our drop in sales came from those 3 customers alone. And I've said this before. I'm talking to you guys off podcast. Maybe I've said it on podcast too. I love these guys when they're here, but I never like to rely on them because so few people can collect at that level for that long. They always burn out. Yeah. And 3 of them did, right? Now that doesn't mean we don't have other big customers. We do. But 3 customers they were like 4% of our sales or something ridiculous. Like they spent a crazy amount, or 3% of our sales or something like that. It was a crazy amount of money. So they represent a decent sized drop. The variant covers were a big part of that. And the speculation, our number one orders for small press books were like, 5 of this one, 25 of this one. Now it's 0, 2, 5, maybe, right? So, not all of them, but I'm talking like the average, like random independent book. So we're back down to those 2018, 2019 numbers for independent books. The variant covers completely crashed. But our sales on cover A's for Marvel and DC and Image and all that stuff are fine. They're where they always are. We've seen you gain a couple, you lose a couple. Better books sell better, worse books sell worse. But I'm looking back and I'm like, we're not too off from. We're missing a few of those real high points. We don't have some of those big movers. We don't have the Dark Knight's Metal. We don't have like Morrison's Batman and Robin. We don't have Green Lantern, right? So there isn't the John's Green Lantern. We don't have that 1 or 2 title that was just double everything else. We don't have House and Powers, right? House of X and Powers of X. But all the standard books are pretty in line with where they've always kind of been. So that's, to me, actually an okay sign that it's not a lack of interest in the regular books. It's a lack of interest in the speculation end of it, and that's it's not great, but it's maybe a healthier market, if not a better market. Single issue comic sales have been slightly up from where they were a few years ago. We bop around 50 to 55%. 54.6% of our sales were single issue comics across every format. 23.6% were graphic novel sales, all formats, hardcovers, manga, everything. So 22% of our sales are back issues and supplies, toys, and merchandise. Something like supplies. I don't have it here. I thought I had it written down, but I don't see it in my note. But supplies, like, oh, here it is. Yeah, BCW. Our sales of comic supplies outsold every company's products except for Marvel, DC, and Image. So our number 4 publisher is BCW, the company that makes the bags and boards and boxes. So it's a big market. The supplies are still a really strong part of our sales. But the last couple of years, we've definitely seen a drop in DC's output and DC sales. Marvel outsold DC by 14% across all formats, and a lot of that has to do with graphic novel sales. Because Marvel graphic novel sales, especially those omnibuses, are a big dollar, big ticket.
Well, they have the Epic collections that they've been consistent with as well.
They are putting out trades. Stuff's back in print. DC has a lot of stuff out of print, right? A lot of stuff not available. So if you look at single issue sales, everything from New 52. If you look at our single issue sales, were about 55% of our total sales. Well, Marvel and DC were 56% of our sales. So again, these kind of go in line, right? We're a majority of our sales are Marvel and DC. A majority of our sales are single issue comics. We're a comic book store, right? I thought this was interesting. Our average transaction was about $45, which is like 10 comics, 2 standard graphic novels, 1 epic / oversized, deluxe edition, half an omnibus, right? So that seems about right. I think when I ring up most transactions, that seems pretty average. We have those $600 sales, we have those $5 sales, but I think about $50, $45, $50 is about right.
They tend to run that 20 to 40 range, but then you'll get like a handful, like a slew of 80.
Oh yeah, right? Well, especially Wednesday. Wednesday sales are higher. Weekend sales are not. On average, Wednesday sales are higher. On average, weekend sales are lower because it's more casual audience.
So you had said something a little bit earlier about like independent, like comic book sales slumping. Like around 2018, 2019. Right?
Marvel and DC start to cool off a little bit, but the independent stuff really cooled off.
The reason why is, remember, Saga's issue 54 was in July of 2018.
Yep.
Walking Dead was July of 2019.
Yep. I'm sure it's all related.
And then, the stuff that but when we got the end of, but the funny part is like a few months later, Boom comes on the scene with Something is Killing the Children.
Oh, and that was a huge spec book, right? I mean, that was a massive book at that time, and Boom never really had another book take its place. I mean, Something still does well, but none of the rest of their books move any significant numbers. It's really just Something is Killing the Children. They have not had another hit.
They we haven't had anything hit those Walking Dead or Saga numbers yet.
No.
Saga coming back, it's not
the same. No.
So it's definitely but it's like you said, it's still up.
Yeah.
From those times, and like it's that pendulum swing, right? Like we hit that top, but now we got to come kind of back, and it's like, are you on that backswing, you got to be ready for it. If you're not ready for it, that's where you get things like comic book industry's dying, all of the stores are closing, and it's like, yeah, because you're expecting things to be up here or surpass this, but we're not in that. It's going back, right?
Right. Well, we've already seen some numbers for Q4, and we'll get the full book scan numbers from Brian Hibbs in the next few weeks. But yeah, graphic novel sales for adult graphic novels, meaning teen and up, so manga basically manga, superhero comics, independent stuff, not kids comics. Fell almost 25%. It was like 24 or 23% or something like that. And a large chunk of that's from manga drop. So if you were a store that went all crazy in on manga, your sales suffered last year, just like I said they would. Manga was less than 1% of our sales last year. I'm not saying I will repeat this till the day I die. I love manga. It just is not the market for a lot of Western comic book stores. Those people are buying elsewhere. They're buying online. They're buying Amazon. It's a younger audience. They're not going in the comic shops.
Well, but you're also only stocking like volume ones of popular things. Somebody will come in and grab a Chainsaw Man number 1.
The ability to stock every volume of manga for some of these series is not just impossible. It's stupid because you can't stock every issue of every comic, right? But because it's a book format, there's a kind of this belief that you're supposed to. It just doesn't work that way, right? I really want to see the drop in sales. I don't follow the game market for the store end, but I want to see the drop in sales for games because I know things like Lorcana helped, but Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, they're not doing the numbers they were doing a year or two ago. There's a lot of competition from Amazon. Wizards.
Lorcana had such a rough.
But yeah, it helped, but it's so unavailable.
It could have done much better, but the that was a failure on Ravensburger and Disney. How do you drop the ball that hard?
I think if you're a comic book store, I think 2023 wasn't great, but I think it was okay. I think if you were a general comic store,
like a nerd stop,
I don't know. I'm not sure what your 2023 looked like, and I'm not sure what your 2024 is going to look like. We'll see. I could be wrong. I mean,
Well, one of the shops, like Lorcana specifically, one of the shops that we know, they actually they ordered, I think it was 75 booster boxes, but they were only allocated 16.
Yeah. They were never going to get all of them. Yeah.
These numbers had to be put in prior. These weren't numbers that they were just going, we'll take this now. This is stuff that was ordered a while ago.
Yeah, but that's how allocation works. That's Pokemon does that.
Yeah.
They all do it. So, yeah. All right.
But that's drastic. Jesus.
Yeah, it's really bad. I just did a cutoff point here when I was posting our top graphic novels for 2023 for number wise on Iron. I didn't do a top 10 or anything. It ends up because there was a couple ties, so it ended up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ended up being top 15. I have our top 15. Now, if you saw this on Blue Sky, my post there, Brock or anyone else,
I did not
ignore it. Okay, good. But if you guys want to take a guess, throw some guesses out here. Our top 15 sales by units, graphic novels for 2023. Doesn't mean they came out this year. Just means that they were the number of copies that we sold the most of this year.
Wonder Woman Historia.
I got 15 on here. No Wonder Woman Historia. That would have been the year prior. That was pretty up. That was pretty high that first year.
Historia?
Yeah, but no.
Are we doing single issues or graphic novels?
Graphic novels.
Oh,
I believe Historia was on our list last year, but not this year.
Oh.
Not for 2023.
That's weird. Okay. Anyway, this year, fuck. Were any of these books by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips?
Let's knock a few off the list here. How about I had them on here. Where was it? How about Night Fever, our number 2 book of 2023, and Where the Body Was, our number 4 book of 2023, and that came out at the end of the year. And it was our number 4 book of the year.
I read Where the Body Was New Year's Eve night at Favorite McGee's in downtown.
Nice.
That's how late it came out in the year.
So yeah, those obviously One person figured out how to make original graphic novels on a regular basis and have it work, or 2 people. See if anyone else can do it. I don't think they can, but we'll see. Any other guesses?
Is there a Saga collection in there?
There is 3 Saga collections in here, of course. What is this number? I don't have the numbers. I have to count. Number 5 and number 6, Saga 10, Saga 11, and then number 9, Saga Volume 1, still a seller. 3 sagas on there.
5 of 10 of the top 10 done.
Yep.
But no ties yet.
I mean, some of these may have tied. I just put them in the order in which we had them. Okay. Yeah. No. Most of these should be fairly obvious if you start to think.
I mean, does it associate with Tom King?
Tom King is also on this list.
Human Target
Volume 2 for some reason. Volume 1, I think Volume 1 I think because Volume 1 come out earlier.
Well, issue 9 and 10 were this year.
Yeah, so the hardcover for Volume 1, I must have sold more last year because hardcover Volume 2 was later, so that's on this year's list. So yeah, that's on here. Yep. So that's what's this? 15, 14, 13, 12. So that's number 11. So I'll start at the bottom. We'll go up from 15. Right.
Hold on. You're giving us hints now.
I'm going to give you some hints. Popular series mentioned on this podcast already 5 minutes ago. We talked about it. Very popular. This person also has multiple books on this list. The writer of this book.
Is it Walking Dead Invincible?
No Walking Dead, but I will give you Invincibles on here. Yeah, we haven't. Walking Dead has not been a mover for a long time, unfortunately. The sales just aren't there. But the Invincible Compendium graphic novel did jump back on our top list. So that's number 12.
Something is killing the children.
Something is killing the children. Number 15. Yep, volume number 1 is our number 15 book. And if you want to try to guess the other Tiny In book on our list, it takes the number 9 spot.
Department of Truth
hardcover. Yeah, that first hardcover volume. You sold a ton of those.
Is that
That's
comic
on there.
Still coming out?
Not as of now.
It's on break. Unless it's over.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And so is Something Is Killing the Children. They're both on break. So yeah, not a lot of Tiny In stuff out right now.
There's a fair amount of stuff out, but it's also stuff that he's doing with
the other people. Stuff. Yeah, the Sandman universe ended. So what else is stuff coming out right now? Oh, Dracula. Yeah. Oh, Deviant.
The blue whatever.
That's over. Yeah. Oh, but there's another volume of that coming. Yeah.
The
Christopher Chaos.
Santa Claus one is out right now.
Yeah, I read that first issue of Deviant. That was really good.
And I know he has 3 more in productions coming soon.
Yeah. Number 4.
Attached to House of Slaughter, but that book is.
Yeah, he doesn't write that. Yeah. Number 14, Brock. You may guess this book. I don't know if anyone else will, but it's a book right on our front counter, and it always stays there, and you always sell a lot of them.
Supergirl?
No. Nope, that's not this book.
Well, the only other ones at the counter are like Batman, Catwoman.
No, on the very top at the counter. I always keep a couple copies there, and we always sell them to casual people.
Oh, so it's not that tidying up manga, is it? Or the Cats one?
It's the Cat book, yeah, Rascal. Yeah, this was such a random. Yeah, this is what's one of the. I think
you've been there when somebody's bought this too.
yeah, no, we sell a bunch. It's a French book. It's called Rascal. It's about a little black cat, and it was just one of those small little pocket book, and I was like, I'm going to try something here, and I leave it at the front counter. It sells all the time because it is just. You got to put a book like that in front of people's face. I don't have space for 100 of these. I choose 1 or 2, and this is one of them, and it sells really well. Yeah. Number 13, long-running independent fantasy series. New volume comes out about once a year, and this is this year's volume, and it's on our list.
Fantasy series.
It's an Image book. It's very pretty.
Once a year?
What?
Yeah, it's about once a year. About once a year, a new volume comes out. I mean, it's a trade paperback, so there's single issues, but yeah, there's not 12 issues a year of this book. It's been running for a while. This is volume number 8. Came out this year.
Image puts it out?
Image puts it out, yeah.
It only comes out in trade, or does it come out in single?
No. It comes out in single issues, but there's about one volume a year, and this is the most recent one. Yeah, it's not something that says like, how many image books are up to volume E? Yeah, Monstrous, number 8. Yep. You got Invincible, you got Human Target. Next one, oh, come on. This is when my boy writes a book, it's always going to be on our top selling graphic novel list of the year.
Junkyard Joe?
Nope. But you're on the right path.
Tiger?
I mean, close. Think DC, because of course it's DC.
Oh, Green Lantern?
No. Johns did do another book at DC that came out. The trade. Nope. Trade's not out for that yet.
What the hell?
Oh, Doomsday Clock.
Nope. That was out prior. You're all around it.
The only book I can think of we haven't named is Three Chokers.
Nope. This trade for that did come out this year, but no. I'm surprised actually the hardcover wasn't on this list. I think it's probably right below. Our hardcover is probably in the top 20. We still saw a shitload of that, but it probably just missed the top my list here on top 15. There's another book that he wrote. It was a big.
Is it Shazam?
Nope. It was a big event. It was a big Flashpoint.
Oh, Flashpoint.
It was a big event book. Yeah. We got Department of Truth.
Flashpoint Beyond or Flashpoint?
No, Flashpoint.
Flashpoint, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't do Beyond.
Yeah. No, he did. He covered Flashpoint Beyond.
No, but he only did a few. It's all the different series, so he only did like one of the two, like 8 books, right?
No, I think you're thinking of. So Flashpoint had a bunch of other stuff. This is like the main Flashpoint book. We saw a bunch of this in the lead up to the Flash movie, which obviously didn't happen. But Flashpoint Beyond came out. He co-wrote that with Jeremy Adams and Tim Sheridan.
That's what I was thinking.
But this is just Flashpoint. So big event book. So Department of Truth Saga. Man, I thought this came out another year. When did this? This surprised me. This is a 2022 comic. Original graphic novel, and I thought maybe I mislooked. I read this wrong, but it is on here. It is our number 7 book of the year.
Original graphic novel.
It's an original graphic novel. Came out in 2022.
Is it a kid's book?
It is not a kid's book. It is a Big 2 publisher. If you still define Marvel and DC as the Big 2 publishers.
Yeah.
One of them put out an original graphic novel late 2022, but it still made our 2023 top seller list. Kevin's got it.
What?
You got it. I know you got it.
Or I know the answer.
No, I'm like 90% sure you bought this.
The Alex Ross FF?
The Alex Ross FF, Fantastic Four, full circle.
That's Abrams, though. That's what was throwing me off.
Yeah, but it's Fantastic Four. It's Marvel. Come on, Marvel.
All right.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, I was going to say, that's the first Marvel book.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised that was really, I love that book, but I'm surprised. I'm not surprised because of the quality. I'm surprised just because it seems so long ago that came out.
Keep selling it. Saga, Where the Body Was. Okay, so this has been arguably this is I think most stores' best-selling graphic novel of 2023. I've seen this pop up on multiple lists. It is a hardcover too, which further dispels the fact that people don't like buying hardcovers. It's not crazy cheap. It's not like a $10 book, so people will obviously pay more for hardcovers. This was their number 3 book of the year. Brock, this will be the giveaway for you. We probably would have sold more if we actually got copies in decent condition once in a while, but it has helped our used section beef up a little bit.
Fucks! This is the big 2? No.
This is number 3. This is the number 3 book.
No, but it's not from the big 2.
No.
It's fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin.
Last Ronin, number 3 book of the year.
They cannot fucking ship us that large ass size book properly because they're fucking idiots.
Yep. Last Ronin is a mega hit. And every store I know, this is a lot of stores. I saw their top list, and this was their number 1 graphic novel. It is not really translated quite so much to the spin-off stuff. They're obviously trying to run Last Ronin into the ground, which is really unfortunate, but really good series. The Last Ronin hardcover has been a perennial seller for us. Number 2 is Night Fever, and number 1.
Oh
the writer of this book was not new. It's a couple years old, but it got a nice bump because of some promotion from various Hollywood people. It was meant. The writer has already been mentioned on this.
Clearly, the number one book should have been Meanwhile.
Well, yeah, is that a graphic novel? Do you consider that a graphic novel? I took that out.
No ads in it, so I can ship it media mail.
This is Supergirl, Kevin.
You said earlier, that's not on the list.
No, I didn't say. He said Supergirl, but I did not reply to that.
Yeah, he didn't,
because he was talking about Human Target. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is the number one selling graphic novel of 2023, and it wasn't even close. That's the funny thing. Like
how many?
God bless James Gunn. So
how many did we sell?
Near double the next closest one. So it's a reason I got that book at the front counter too, and it hasn't moved, and it won't move anytime soon because it's a damn good book. Tom King, we love you. Thank you for writing.
Hardcover so long.
Yeah, that'll be on there next year.
See, they have it in order. So we got our Strange Adventures hardcover. We'll now get our Supergirl hardcover. Then we'll get our Human Target hardcover.
Well, no, because
then we'll get our Gotham City.
Technically, there's the hardcover Strange Adventures. The one that just came out was the deluxe edition.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I want the deluxe edition. I don't need it.
Yeah, but the regular hardcover hasn't come out yet for Supergirl.
Oh, yeah. It depends on the cover of that. I want a deluxe.
Oh, I do too, but I'm just saying.
But it's really good.
Give us anything at this point.
Well, there's some solid content in that list, though.
Yeah.
There's nothing on there where you go, how the hell did that make the top sell?
No. Everything is pretty.
Hey, but according to some comic book retailers, no good books are coming out. They can't sell anything.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Especially the big two.
Yep. Nope. It's all garbage. All trash. So yeah. So good. So, like I said. Great books. There's still really good stuff coming out. Things are different. We're seeing the market slow down in various sectors, but I'm not. This has happened. We've weathered this storm so many times. The massive death of comics in the 90s. Put like 8,000 comic stores out of business or something crazy, right? We're not there, right? Survived multiple economic crashes and literal insurrections and global pandemics. Selling a few less variant covers isn't going to kill most stores. It's not great, right? I mean, I want sales to go up forever, always, forever. And that's not happening. So, you fill in with back issues, you cut back a little bit, you trim a little bit here, do a few extra things there. It'll be fine. I mean, things kind of bottomed out. I don't expect it's going to get significantly worse because I don't know. Industry can't really get it. It's going to kind of just, you get that bump up and then you coast back down, and we're in that down period now. 2025, hopefully things pick up. I mean, I'm sure Marvel and DC and Image aren't. They're not dumb. They understand that there's some funk that they need to. They need to figure out, and whatever's happening now, they're already 6 months ahead, so 8 months ahead, 10 months ahead. So they're, they know what's coming out in 2025, 2026. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully they get turned around, stabilize a little bit. Hopefully the independent market picks up a little bit. I don't want to see the return to crazy speculation because that just doesn't help. It's good numbers, but it just makes it so hard to gauge what people actually want. So
well, I mean, look at fall of that, like Fall of the House of X and what is it, Realm of House of Powers or whatever it is, right?
Nice try, good attempt. Totally missed.
Whatever the hell they're calling this stupid book. Fall and what?
Fall of the House of X and Rise of the Power of X.
Okay, whatever. Those two books. What are your sales on those?
About 25% of House of X and Powers of X.
Yep.
So,
now here's one for you to look up if you can. What was the sales on the Wonderful Planet of the Apes hardcover? Omnibus.
2 copies that I sold at cost to my 2 customers who ordered it because I could not face them and sell it to them at $100. So I sold it to them for $50. and did not reorder it. So
no, but I'd be curious what the numbers are for Marvel on that book.
Oh, I'm sure terrible. I'm sure no one reordered a single copy of that. So, yeah, I'm sure really, really bad.
Why?
So that's some movies, some numbers. I don't want to go on too long. In years past, we had a much more structured format here for stuff we liked for 2023. But honestly, I know Toby didn't read shit. All right, Brock has started to catch up. I'm a good 5 months back on like every book I read.
And
Kevin
further back on Marvel.
Kevin is smart and only buys like a couple books, the stuff he really, really likes.
What I can read on a monthly basis.
Yeah, so everything you buy is perfect
on everything I buy.
Yeah, Lane, you're all over the place. Yeah, you're behind, but you buy for different reasons. So like, the books I've liked, were things we've talked about. Right? I don't have some giant, massive list. I've read a bunch of number ones this year that I need to read more of. But I read like a bunch of the Scott Snyder Comixology ones. Canary, I thought was pretty good. It talked about Deviant. I read that first issue. I thought that was really good. The Tiny and Image book. I'm super stoked on JSA. I'm bummed John's going to be gone, but I want to see what else he can do. Although, we'll see if that finishes this year. At the rate it's going, it probably won't, but who knows? It's just like there hasn't been, there's good stuff, but there isn't those like killer books where I'm like, yeah, this is the one. Human Target wrapped up, right? So that was over. I mean, most of that was 2022, so I almost don't even count that. I wasn't trying to like be way down. There's a lot of good stuff, but there wasn't a ton that I really went crazy for this past year. But I will commentary on other people's picks. I know Brock. I know you said you grabbed a few, and Kevin, I know you got some.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Kev.
Well, Human Target would be on my list for sure, even though we only got 2 issues.
Yeah, it's just a very talented.
As far as Tom King content, I'm very hot and cold on his miniseries. That one I thought was amazing. Catwoman Lonely City, which started in 22, but I think 2 of the 3 issues were in 23. Mm. Or there's some chunk of it was in 23. Really like that. JSA has been super fun. Danger Street, Ryan, you didn't mention Danger Street.
I love Danger Street. I haven't finished it. I have like 2 issues left. I love Danger Street. It's a wild experiment. Yeah. I love it. I love that.
There is one great issue, and the rest are enjoyable.
It doesn't work for everyone.
No, I know.
I found I had to explain that series to people, and it after you explain what the deal with it is, it makes more sense.
I just can't believe I'm happy somebody greenlit it. Because can you imagine walking in, if you weren't Tom King, can you imagine walking in and pitching that?
No.
I want to take all the characters from first issue special. They'd be like, what?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something else I'm forgetting that Brock will remind me of, but I got to give a shout out to the amazing Daniel Clowes hitting it straight out of the ballpark again with this graphic novel, Monica. God damn, that guy. Every time I'm like, oh yeah, it's a new Clowes book, and I start to take him for granted, and then you read his work, and he's just operating on a whole other level. And I think my comment on that book was, if somebody had offered me $1 million to predict the ending of that book halfway through it, I would have even earned a penny of that $1 million. That's how far off I would have been. And I'm saying this as a compliment because it's not even about being fooled. It's just about being in the hands of a great storyteller where you're kind of blindfolded and being led very gently along. Yeah. Monica by Daniel Clowes. Amazing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, definitely on my list, not a chance to read that one yet. I am terrible at graphic novels. This is always my biggest problem. I love buying stuff I've already read. Stuff when it's released in original graphic novel form, I'm like, ooh, a book. I will get to that, and it goes in the book
like
pile.
A bigger commitment.
What I need to start doing. Maybe I will start doing this. I need to start putting the original graphic novels in my to-read comic pile. And then
oversized. Just think of them as oversized.
Maybe I will do this. Maybe it's time to reformat my to-read boxes, and I'll start dumping the original graphic novels in there. Because at the rate I'm going, I'm like, I stuff just gets piled in a bigger and bigger stack of unread graphic novels, and I go to the comics every time. Less commitment, but if it's in that stack, maybe I'll get to it. Maybe I'll read it. That's a good idea. All right. I do want to shout out for what I think has continuously been my favorite ongoing book. I forgot to mention this. World's Finest.
Oh yes, thank you.
Oh, thanks for stealing it.
Thank you.
Just give Mark Wade.
Oh, I got caught up with that book.
Do whatever he wants forever.
And I was like, why have I not been reading this?
Yep. World's again. I'm an issue 2 back, but World's Finest is fantastic.
I was less than enthusiastic about revisiting Kingdom Come, and that storyline has been so good. I mean, I think we're 3 issues into it now. Have you gotten to it yet?
I'm right at it. That's where I stopped.
So good. Holy shit.
I'm all caught up. Trust me.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
This was I don't know if this is just Mark Wade being like, I'm just gonna do a DC book and just whatever. I'm not gonna worry about anything else or anyone else. I'm just doing the DC book I've always wanted to write, because it feels like he's hitting. I mentioned this to Brock. I was catching up on some older Marvel books from a couple years ago, and I read a bunch of random books by, again, talented people, but nothing special. And I'm just kind of like, man, something's just off about some of these, like, as younger writers and experience, but people also just, I think some writers forget you have to name characters. You have to tell the audience what's going on. You have to have characters.
Editor's notes are perfectly fine.
You have to have characters say other characters' names. You have to remind people who everyone is. This isn't a one-off standalone. Like, you have to get people back in. And I read these couple issues of this random Marvel comic by Kurt Busiek that I went in and had absolutely zero interest in, and I was like, oh, I forgot. Kurt Busiek's a really good writer, and he could take this shit book and actually make it, it's not going to go on my list of top books of all time. It's just like, oh, this is a competently written book that explains the characters and tells you what's going on. Instead of I wander into some Marvel and DC books like, who are these characters? What's happening here? You haven't introduced anything. You haven't told us what's going on. And Wade and Busiek just come from that older school style where no, they know how to write a single issue comic book that's in part of a bigger world. And I think more modern writers need to look at them and take elements from that. I'm not saying their writing is bad, but there's some fundamentals missing from some writers. And this is not a new thing. This has always happened, but it feels a little bit more noticeable now. Maybe editorial's a little looser on that style. Maybe they think that style's kind of going out of fashion. But if I open a book and I'm 3 pages in and literally do not know who the characters are, and that's a problem. You should know who these characters are in the first panel. All right. I don't need Stan Lee style exposition, but give me something. Name the characters. Tell us what's going on. You don't constantly refer to characters by their first name. You can, once you've established who they are. We know the superhero names, just things like that, right? Little things like that. You've got to remind people who these characters are. So that was it. That's all I was going to say. But World's Finest, fantastic book. So go ahead, Brock.
Oh, thanks. I am going to say Wonder Woman Historia because the hardcover came out and everyone needs to go get a copy because that book's fucking amazing. Yeah. I actually got caught up this year with a lot of the DC YA stuff. And the Superman, The Harvest of Youth was really good out of that line. That came out this year. What else was on there? You took away my World's Finest, so that one's done.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Human Target was already mentioned. That's good.
Those YA books, I've skimmed some of the previews we've gotten, but I never.
So there's only been a handful that have really like.
Since they've slowed down too. I don't think they're doing as many.
The Harley Quinn Breaking Glass was one of their first ones. That one was great. The Teen Titans ones from Cami Garcia are really solid. But like I really enjoyed that Superman: The Harvest of Youth. It's by Sina Grace. Really, really solid one. A book that nobody's going to think of, and I got it on a whim because working in education, I kind of sometimes look at books a little different. Hidden Systems by Dan Knott. Man, that is a solid book about just something so practical as our water infrastructure, our electricity infrastructure, our internet infrastructure. Like,
I have seen this. Yes.
It is by far one of the most like non-fiction-y graphic novels I've read, and I'm like, this is good stuff. Like, and I don't think people talk about that stuff as much.
Non-fiction-y. I'm looking at I have seen this. I'm looking at the preview pages. It's very understanding comics. It's very Scott McCloud.
But really, just a lot
of inspired. It looks like. Yeah, it looks cool.
Like definitely something that would be on my recommendation for just educational material. Trying to think. Tom King's been fair enough with what he's gotten out. I still have yet to read Nice House on the Lake. I know that one. That's been good from what I heard.
That's been over for a while. Yeah. Nice House is awesome.
Yeah.
I really want to see if he does follow up to that. Nice House is great. Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, just anything by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. Like those Reckless books have been solid. The Night Fever was great. The Where the Body was fantastic. Just, good, solid storytelling overall. So yeah, those will probably be mine.
I'm pretty sure Lane and Toby won't have this, but I feel like I should mention it after all the drama to get to this point. Miracle Man.
Oh yeah, that book came out. I haven't started them yet.
It's such a strange experience because it really is like they were made at the original time that they were planned to be made, like 87, 88, 89, 90, right in that range, and like they've just been discovered and are being released now. It feels like something of such a different era of comics. It's just a strange. When I get an issue of that, I don't read that accompanied by other new comics. That is its own reading day, completely as a solo item, because it's just a completely different story tone, flavor, vibe, atmosphere, mood. It's a different Neil Gaiman than modern Neil Gaiman, even though it is modern Neil Gaiman writing it.
There's how many more?
I think the Silver Age has.
Yeah, I did not want to wait between issues. I was just waiting for it to all come out. So I'm building up a pile.
2 more, 3 more?
Maybe. Yeah. So who knows? Interesting. I feel like after all the build-up, nobody cares.
It's
about Miracle. I mean, not you and me. But like,
you may have just missed the moment.
Yeah.
And it may have just been a case of release these as just a graphic novel when you have them all done. Call it a day.
Yeah. Lane, Toby.
Oh, sorry, I just remembered.
Oh yeah,
one more.
Go for it.
It's only on issue 5, but Hunger and the Dusk.
Oh,
Wilson.
So I've read number 1. Again, I've read a lot of number 1s this year. I thought number 1 is great. Again, they introduce characters. She like explains the plot. She tells you names.
Builds the world.
Yeah, right. That's a lot of world building in one issue, but they do a really good job. Yeah, no, The Hunger of the Dusk was a good first issue. So, it is on once the trade starts coming out, or maybe I'll wait for the big hardcover and pick it up. But very, very good. Cool fantasy series. Yep. That was one I totally meant to mention. I didn't get to. I forgot.
And then like an honorable would be Sirens of the City. I think was a pretty interesting, fresh, kind of take on kind of that gang, gang mentality, but it's not of that era. It's more like magic and demons and magic users and all that, like, so it's more like positive and negative energies and stuff like that, but like it's a more modern concepts, more up to date kind of like graffiti, hip hop, urban type stuff. So, but I like that one. That one was a good one to mention. Not to mention you'll love it too, because there's a character that's straight out of what is that, Duran Duran art, the art, like the who did the art style that sounded like the Duran Duran cover of the chick?
Patrick Nagel.
Oh, sorry. I did not know what you were. I'm sorry. I completely did not know what you were saying. Yeah.
Like I could see the picture in my head of just like, it's like Desire, right? It emulates that. But there's literally a character in that's pulled from a Patrick Nagel piece.
Nice.
Yeah. Toby or Lane, go for it.
Well, we know Toby didn't read, right?
But I will allow Toby to give me some. I will allow Toby to give me some other stuff. So I know he sometimes has other non-comic stuff he likes to shout out. So
I'll say I would echo Dice House of Lake, because technically the trades came out this year, the second one.
Yeah.
That was, I really enjoyed that.
And the deluxe.
And I caught up on, well, not now, but I was caught up on Somebody's Killing the Whole Universe, and I really like the whole thing. And then branching from that, so far, World Tree has been interesting, but very odd, but very much in the Tinyan kind of odd.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I'd say, I'm sure I'm missing some, but like one that more recent, it's only on like issue 2, but the Outsiders feels like a complete planetary rewrite. So,
yeah.
And then I would have to give the biggest shout out for the best art of this year. Finally, Ambassadors number 3.
Oh,
finally got a full issue of art drawn by Travis Charest.
Yeah. Nice.
Hey, Lane, no joke. That if you were talking about the best art of 2023, you might have to say Ambassadors as the series.
Oh yeah, no, that whole series was pretty good. Drawn, story, but
well,
amazing artists on that series.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that's why Lane prefaced it with the best art.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just saying, if we're making a list of the greatest artwork in comics of the year and put the series in order, Ambassadors would be top 2 for me, if not 1. But notice I didn't mention it as my favorite comic of the year.
No, I agree with that. So I guess Toby's honorable mentions.
Toby, one of these days you'll read comics again and not look at the pretty pictures. But why don't you tell us, movies, TV, what's your 2023 look like? What do you like in this
comic
year?
Related?
This past year? Sure, or not. That's fine.
I think
just want to hear your wonderful voice.
I think I only have one comic book related I'll nominate this year.
You could tell us all your favorite non-comic related. They must have released like 7 Fast and Furious movies, right?
They're caca now. Yeah.
How does Fast and Furious and the superhero franchise die at the same point? Is it the same problem?
Well, no, the Fast and Furious, they have an actor die, so and after that, it's never been the same.
They're running on fumes.
They've been running on fumes for a while now, I think.
Yeah, you can almost say the same about the Marvel universe too.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, so there's your hook, Ryan. Both franchises are running on fumes. No, I will actually do comic related stuff. I will say Hilda season 3 has been completely amazing. And that came out just not too long ago. I mean, it might have been like just before Christmas or something. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Based on the Hilda graphic novels, they kind of went beyond the graphic novels at this point because they only have 5 books and they went beyond that. I was getting sad when it got to the last episode because I was like, man, this is so good. I don't want it to end because they have announced that this is the last season, but the very last episode is pretty much a whole movie. And it was really, really amazing. So, again, to the one podcast listeners who's put me on this, thank you very, very much. It's been a wonderful ride. So, Hilda season 3 on Netflix.
Cool. I never saw any of them. I didn't realize there were 3 seasons.
There's 3 seasons and a movie.
Okay.
And the movie goes after season 2, before season 3.
Yeah.
And then the last episode, and it's really funny because I was like, man, only 20 more minutes of this to go, but the last episode is like another movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, some of the stories in that stuff is phenomenal. I hats off to the that show. So.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm sad it's all over now because this is it. Maybe down the road they'll do a couple more specials, but for the time being, at least, the show is over. But yeah, that's my pick. I don't have much on the movies, and I mean there hasn't been a lot of new material that was like really, really good.
I mean, well, right, that's what I was saying. There was a ton of it, but it's like, it was all okay. It was fine, or not, but yeah. You were up on Loki, but not worth a mention.
No, I just like the way they ended the character. I was not a big fan of that show overall, but I like the way they parked or left his character. So I really like how they ended that. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what else I watched. Oh, fuck! I forgot one. Slam Dunk, the movie came out. I'll give another nod to that as a comic book related thing. So one of my all time favorite mangas had a movie come out. It was a little weird because the main character got changed to number 7 from number 10. So that was a little weird. But it's basically the end of the manga that they never animated because the show just kind of ended and the manga kept going. So this is kind of the very last match, but from a viewpoint of one of the side characters as the main characters. And I'm not sure why they did that. And one thought is so they can, so that new people wouldn't feel like left out or like too many references. But, all the other stuff is in there. So, yeah, Slam Dunk is in there as a thing. I watched it twice in the theater. I really like that. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Keep talking. I'll think of more, I'm sure.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I like the
go along as I do.
No, please God, no. It's I like the different because I know you watched most of the shows and movies, but I know you were feeling like the rest of us. Where that's gonna be a nice break for 2024. Well, while Toby thinks, I'm sure he'll come up with something. I'm going to say that has been the end of the Comic Conspiracy podcast, and we're going to start wrapping up now. We'll see what this year brings. It's going to be obviously light when it comes to TV and movie. I think it may be a little light in the publishing end too. So
this year, I actually thoroughly enjoyed The Flash.
The Flash?
Yeah, I rewatched it multiple times at this point. I really like that.
I mean, you don't have to go back many episodes. I've enjoyed all the DC movies. No surprise there. I don't have a ton to say about them is the problem.
The Turtles movie came out this year, which I love the art style. The story was a less on board with, but the art style I thought that was phenomenal. Oh yeah, Knights of the Zodiac movie came out. Maybe we leave it at that. They tried. They just tried. Let's.
You count that as a comic book movie,
dude. It's based on a manga. What the hell?
I guess.
Freaking hater.
I'm not a hater.
Yeah, but they tried. It's too bad. They tried.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm just looking at my AMC movie history list. So.
Nice.
About it. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it.
Cool.
Yep.
Excellent. Yeah, well, there we go. This is a wonderful episode of the Comic Conspiracy Podcast. We're back. We should have a new episode next week, too. Some news stories to cover from the last number of weeks. Not too much, but we're going to catch up on a little bit of stuff. Said at the beginning of the podcast, kind of a funky recording night for us. We had to move some stuff around, so should be back to normal next week. Hopefully, we'll see. Anyway, thank you to all our top tier Patreon backers. You stuck with us through all of 2023. Appreciate it. We're now in 2024. So thank you to Edward at geekyvillain.com, Joe Duff, Kelsey May, Craig Anderson at the Executive Evolution Podcast, and Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum Podcast. Continued support every single month, as well as everyone else at patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. Remember to go to comicconspiracypodcast.com to find all our previous episodes, or on Apple Podcast or anywhere else. Subscribe always helps. Get them right when they go live, whenever it is. If you go to comicsconspiracy.biz, you can purchase comics from us for mail order, for pickup. That's Brock's job, is shipping and receiving manager. So he goes in, at this point, in shipping manager. I know, there's always something, always orders coming in. That warehouse, man, we've got like 12,000 sale items, like half off items on our website. Thousands of back issues, more added every week. Kevin should be back soon, starting working on some older stuff. So always adding new stuff to the website. And our anthology, we published a comic book this past year. That's a good thing. Talked about that.
Successful Kickstarter.
Yeah, that was fun times. That was a lot of talk about shipping. Meanwhile, a comic shop anthology is available at meanwhileanthology.com. You can buy it at the store. You can buy it digitally. You can buy it on Amazon, on Kindle. You can get it at other comic stores that have carried the book. So it's fantastic. Hope you pick up a copy, and if you like it, let us know. You can check out Brock's stuff over at conspiratorbrock.com. You can listen to Charlie's Doctor Who podcast, Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension, and Kevin's weekly interview series called Between the Panels at fanbasepress.com. And my wife, Leanne, she's at leannehill.com. Her art's at etsy.com/shop/LeanneHillArt if you would like to buy some of her art prints. If you are on Blue Sky, we're on there. I'm Ryan Higgins. Brock is Brock Sager. Toby's Toby XI. I don't know. Toby, you posted once? You posted twice?
I'm impressed I even did that.
You forget your password? Don't know how to use it anymore?
I don't even bother trying to remember shit anymore, man.
That's okay. Toby's Toby XI. Kevin is that Kevin Sharp. We're all those same names on Twitter if you're still using that, except I'm Ryan Higgins Ryan with another Ryan on there.
As long as people stay off my lawn.
The other day.
And the store is Comics Con store.
I got on Twitter the other day.
Yeah.
And it was all OnlyFans ads.
Nice.
I was like, really? Really?
Well, they know those feeds do pull from your browsing and search history. So
that's right. Yeah, because I've been to OnlyFans.
I'm just saying. The
nice part is you can block them.
I do. I have like 90% of the ads I get are for AI stuff, and I block every single ad I see on Twitter when I use it on mobile. Yeah. So I just block every single person that posts an ad. I have started to get to the weirdo, because I check Twitter like once a day just to see if I have any replies, and I'll scroll for like a minute just to see how bad it is. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm getting all these weird like Shark Tank video, like really weird bottom of the barrel stuff. I've blocked thousands and thousands and thousands of accounts. So I'm getting some real garbage stuff now. It's pretty great. If you want to listen to Geekbox is basically turned into Ryan Scott tells us about Star Trek: The Next Generation the last few weeks, last few episodes, because Ryan Scott is watching Star Trek: The Next Generation for the very first time, and I am having fun reliving it through him. And that is all we've talked about for weeks now. It's wonderful. He just got to Measure of a Man, the episode where they have to have a trial to see if Data is sentient or not. It's very, very apropos for these days. And check out our friends over at Manga Nation. Talk about manga and anime. They publish a real podcast that's actually produced and well run and has guests, and they care. It's incredible. It's incredible. They do. It's so surprising.
They edit it.
And they edit, and they try. It's real weird. I don't get it, but what are you going to do? All right, that is it. Thank you all very much. We will catch you next week.
I'm so waiting for Toby to slide something in.
And a new episode of the Comic Experience Podcast. Goodbye.